Hi, hello. If you're new here, my name is Rain. I am a illustrator and character designer, and last week I put up a poll asking what video you wanted to see, 30-day sketchbook challenge or desk tour, and at the time the 30-day sketchbook challenge was winning. However, the desk tour has shot up so much that that's what we're going to be doing today. So if you want to explore the desk of a messy, unaesthetic artist, that's what we're going to be doing. It is absolutely wild. I have very, very little space. And then we're also going to be talking about my favorite art supplies recently. Just wrap it all into one video. So let's just get into the shebang, the goods, with this whole situation. This is my desk stand, which is actually a really low quality one. You will vibrate if I shake my desk. My desk is not great quality, so this is going to be migrating eventually, and then my mic is also on my laptop right now. So in a moment I am going to unlatch you guys, and we are going to kind of explore by hand. Now I am shaky handed, I am really sorry, but I don't have anything else to keep you guys stable, so just letting you know in advance. But let's get into exploring my space, my home, where I spend all of my work hours and art hours every single day of my life. Alrighty, so now clasped in my hand, let's just look at my tripod really quickly that I use for my overheads. It is this thing. I actually don't even see a brand on it, so that's optimistic for me. Is there not a brand on this? Probably not. This thing, because I try to use it as little as humanly possible, goes on my floor in the pile of cat hair. This is right there. So we'll actually start with this corner because it works. So I have a backless swivel chair that I use to hold my random paper. Yes, the Christmas tree is up. We're gonna ignore that. My sketchbook, colored pencils, and then some artist reference books that I use pretty regularly, and then also my reference materials for my graphic novel, for Loki specifically. Then right next to that I have my heater, a massive tier thing that we'll go through in a minute together that sits back there, and then I have this little shelving side unit junk that I keep some of my markers in, always falling out because it's slightly slanted, my paint pens, one of those Danish sugar cookie jars full of extra cords, and the junk drawer where I keep my rulers, old sketchbooks, Mod Podge, gaming controller, all of that good stuff. Then my paint pens that I've been using the most recently, which is part of this, is my new favorite paint pen set that I've been working with recently, which is the Wuo. I do have complaints about these paint pens, but they are the ones that I've been enjoying working with the most recently. So my main complaint is the storage. That lid was latched just then. That was a latched on lid. We're not talking about the pants. So these are tiered. Do I have a place to put on my computer? Yay. Which is what I use to record my audio. I just use the voice memo app that comes with Macs. So these are all latched on. If you're not really careful about slipping it in on this side, even when you latch it, sometimes the side will lift. So you can't just put it down then latch like that, because this side will sometimes lift. You have to slip it in, and it's incredibly annoying, and it drives me completely and utterly bonkers, which is actually going to make this difficult, because last time I tried to put this top part on, it was not behaving, and it has been kind of sucking the life out of me recently. Did I do it? We're going to deal with this later. This is actually why I keep it on the floor, so that if my cats knock it over, it is not a complete casualty situation. So that's that. Hopefully that wasn't too loud in my mic, but my desk immediately next to it is another cord pit, where this cord is a cord that I have yet to use, but I know I'm gonna need. I need these Type-Cs all the time for work, so. Oh. Let me put you back, I'm sorry. But right next to it I have my little Ohuhu, like fake bamboo marker holder, and then I have this little dish that I keep my nail topper in, lip gloss, mechanical pencil lead, mostly all of that shebang. One of my 2 emotional support dumpster fire buddies, my other one, I try to keep in front of my keyboard when my keyboard is out and down on my desk. Then I have my stress ball, my Huion key dial remote, which then my Huion's like tablet, like big box is back here. This glove is not relevant yet. So generally this is the primary corner where all of my more or less difficult to move junk is. But I regularly touch it and come in contact with it, and it's just like uncomfortable or annoying to store. So that's all good. Then on top of my bamboo thing, I have these clips that were given to me by a parent of a student, so cute, all that. Then I have my cactus, specifically of my Caran, and there goes more stuff falling. My Caran color pencils. Then I have a Persona 5 mug filled with other random pens that I use very, very regularly. And I use this to hang my headphones when my mic is in use, which I should actually pull you guys closer to me. There we go. So, random ballpoint pens. I really like these also brandless, which is super annoying. Like non-sharpen pencils. They have like this really like big wide tip, and I find that it's really good for loose and expressive kind of drawings. Some of my multicolor pens, these ones do have a brand. They are the Pentel Multi 8. Let me check. I have to put the pencil lead like in to twist it, which is difficult to do with one hand. Yeah, Multi 8 PH 802. Cool. But it's mostly just like Sharpies, Eco liners, my old drawing tablet, pen, scissors, stuff I use super regularly. Then I have another mug from my brother's college with like highlighters, more scissors, stuff like that, pens, Caran pencil that did not go into the right container, probably when my brother knocked it over, because my PC, the back is inaccessible to me due to my chronic illness, and so my brother has to come and do stuff for the back of my computer if I want anything done, and he knocks this over every single time without fail, despite there being space right there. But that's all good. Now, on the back of this, I have another little drawer that I keep with some paintbrushes, some pencils. I really like this paintbrush style. I have not used it much recently, and I had to get a new one because of it, but I really like these detailed brushes. More colored pencil lead, fine liners, my cloths that I wear for photo shoots sometimes, my tiny kneadable eraser that I still have, some more pens, all that good stuff. Then the drawers, which are super hard to see because I almost never access them. Mostly just have stickers and extra sticky notes in them, so nothing super exciting. Then this is my new swatch page. My other one finally hit such an overflow that I stopped using it. Illustration that I need to finish rendering, which can't fit in here. But another drawing I really like that I just like to keep on my desk, like right here. You know, just like to look at her. I think she's cute. Stuff like that. Then when we get to this drawer system, It's a mess, y'all. So my cat likes to sit up here, so I keep a book that I don't care about the cover of, which is the Artist Way, like, morning journaling pages that someone gave me. Like, it's a good book, but, like, the cover is fine if my cat sits on it and gets it a little dirty. Then I have other books stacked on top of it. This was supposed to be a paint tube holding system. Because, like, isn't this cute? And it works. It is now a keychain hoard. That's just it. My idea went out the window. It is now a keychain hoard. Back in here, I almost never use anything in this top drawer. This is cat medicine. These are just files for filing stuff. Clay tools. Fixatives. Nothing super, super interesting. Like cat hairball medicine, like way back there. Nothing I'm super interested in. My old sketchbook is right there. That's all good. And there goes another marker falling. This is just what I do every day of my life. I know, it's not the most visually interesting, but oh. This is why you do not keep your stuff slanted, but I don't have anywhere else to put it, so. In with the Copics. You're just watching the life of me fall apart actively. My pencil sharpener can't fit on my desk, so it's just unplugged right here until I need it. This is just a random note about the files for my Clip Studio Paint graphic novel. I keep all of my multi-tin ballpoint pens here because they're thick and hard to keep in my storage. Then, under all of this, which we're not gonna get my sweater out of the way, which we're not gonna go into because it's not super interesting. If you'd like to see all the stuff in here, just go throughout my channel and watch a bunch of stuff. This is where I keep all of my art that's loose leaf that I still really like to look at and reference regularly. I have another container up and over there where I keep even more. I know, the ugly zebra painting is not mine. We don't talk about it. Then, down on this next drawer, we just have sketchbooks, books, colored pencils, my painting rubber thing to keep me from making a mess at my desk. And then the bottom drawer, I have more alcohol markers, more erasers, and then random crafting supplies that I don't use super often, but I do use often enough that is kind of important to, you know, keep it around. I've talked about my condition quite a lot on my channel, but I don't know exactly where I was just then, but I had to take a hit of my inhaler because I was moving and talking too much at the same time. I'm supposed to be pretty stagnant, but so we're sitting and my knees are tucked up to help prop you guys. But we're going to kind of move on to the main part of my desk that we use a lot more frequently here on the channel. This is my keyboard for my computer that is up there, and I use for gaming, work stuff. You know, we got like, oh, I can zoom in. Yes. We got Exit Lag. We got Purple for Ion. I haven't touched Genshin Impact in forever. Marvel Rivals, like Little Witch in the Woods, Silver and Blood, you know, all of that good shebang. And my photography file. I also use this to edit my photography. I use my laptop to edit my like videos and stuff, but you know, keeping my life separate. Then we have my Lloyd lookup and my Your lookup. My hand reference, a resin flower mold I tried to do that didn't go well. More mechanical pencil lead and like scrap storage, mini journals and stuff for taking notes, a squishmallow and a Canadian sweater that someone got for me when they went to Canada. My sticky notes are right there. And then these are my other favorite paint pens that I have been using recently. So let's shift a little bit and grab some of them. I have been really enjoying the grabby brush tips recently. They're dual tone, so they're different on each side. And then I also have these black ones up here, which are the Artix acrylic paint pens. They're okay. I don't think they're as good as these ones from Artix, but they're still pretty solid. Frankly, I'm not a huge fan of Artix at the moment because I feel like their paint pens dry out a lot faster than the other brands I've been using, and it's kind of annoying. So this week's video, before I checked the other poll, was actually supposed to be me drawing my blind box figure, which is behind my computer right now. We will see her, so spoilers for that video when it gets made and comes out. But it was just going so poorly. Like, all of the paint pens that I was grabbing were dying, and I'm talking colors that I don't usually use. Like, pink in particular is a very, like, uncommon color for me, and she's very pink and lavender. Lavender I do use a lot, but I was just struggling, and I was getting frustrated, not feeling super great about it, so I just decided I'm gonna put it off, let that be a different thing that I do later in my week or a couple of weeks, since it tied for my graphic novel update. So depending on how that illustration goes, we will work on that one later. Then I have my pastel, like, non-brush tip Ohuhus that I got from a family, like, member during a holiday, and I don't really use not brush tips, so I keep this here so that I will use it more and give the markers the love they need. I feel like when I say I use alcohol markers and I like the brand Ohuhu, my family consistently just keeps getting me the same stuff every year for the holidays, and it's like, I'm not mad, but I do have a lot of alcohol markers, so that's just kind of how that is at the moment, but I appreciate it a lot anyway. So I do have a lot of alcohol markers. I don't think I've bought any of them myself in years. This is a pink pig that was given to me by my college for the color theory class. And then this is a, like, pen holder that I got from a artist. They also run Harrah's Animal Rescue, and so the proceeds for their Etsy, I don't know if it's still up, was helping their rescue. So pens, more pens, all pens. These are just highlighters and pens. They used to be my pens mostly for taking notes in college, but I don't take notes anymore. I stopped taking notes in my freshman year of college because of my condition, and I just learned how to do things without notes for the most part and highlighting documents, so they only really get used if I have an illustration that is kind of, like, relevant to the color scheme. I have fake flowers for a photography project in a class I did a while back. Then this is my junk pile of art stuff that I don't use often. Then I also have some manga back there that I'm using as references for, like, paneling in my graphic novel. And then this is one of my favorite little art books. This is my IBS cat because Pumpkin has IBS, and he ate something he wasn't supposed to. Then some, like, gods that I'm considering designs for, sticky notes for logo designs that I was doing for a class. Then the Black Frogs Doodle book. I love the Black Frogs Doodle book so much. I really, really enjoy it. It feels like having a mini sketchbook of an artist you love, and I really enjoy it. There's that. Then I also keep my watercolor sketchbook over there. I'm using it for a different kind of challenge where I'm trying to practice drawing fruit, because I can't draw fruit. So I think we've covered a good chunk of my main desk area now in terms of the supplies that are traditional. Because these are just my Arctic paint pens, and there's, like, more tucked in back here. This is my rag. Oh, there goes something. This is my rag I use to clean my desk, wipe stuff on, like, illustrations. Like, if I'm using a paint pen or I make a mistake, I use this rag. I have another, like, crappy junk rag back there somewhere. This is Monk. Like, the actual name of this cat was Monk, which is why a family member bought it, because it's the name of one of my Over the Rainbow Bridge dogs. Then this is my Huion, like, drawing setup. So I have the Huion pen tucked into this fingerless glove because my drawing tablet, which I keep a massive sweater over because I have cats and they're disgusting and messy goblin children and they spend a lot of time on my desk. So I find that this touchscreen format is really just reactive to the, like, meat of my hand. even when I'm wearing the glove. And the only way I found that doesn't make it so that my art gets like messed up, lasso tool breaks, smudges, delays in my pen, is to double up the glove, which is why I just have the other one right there, because this is my favorite pair of fingerless gloves. My partner got them for me for our anniversary in October, so they're pretty new, and I absolutely love them. They're adorable. They were locally made, and I love them a lot. So, that's just my drawing tablet back there. My caffeine is spilling, which is fine. We got it. It's almost empty. So that's just all drawing tablet. It takes up the overwhelming like majority of my desk. So this is like the edge of my desk right here. And it's basically all drawing tablet. So we are going to stand again. We'll see if I need more inhaler support. But I usually, when I'm making art, put my keyboard on top of my PC like this to keep that out of the way. I move this little guy over here. And then my laptop, I usually put on this stack of books. I have a laptop holder, books that I've been using for references. That is my calculator. I work in education, so I use that a lot. My tripod that I use, it's not really a tripod. My phone stand that I use for most of my recording because it doesn't shake. An almost empty bottle of hand sanitizer that I want to use the spray bottle for in the future. Then this is like face glitter. So I was thinking, as somebody who's very messy, has like coordination issues, the best way to get glitter involved in my art would be to use face glitter because it's more likely to be safe to get all over me. So I use face glitter instead, my inhaler. And then those are just art books that are sitting on a chair. This is my like hay feeding sweater because we have animals that eat hay. So that just sits there. Then this is my blind box girly. So this is who I will be drawing in a couple of weeks, maybe. We'll see when it gets done, but it is part of the plan. It's on the roster. Glasses cleaner, full hand sanitizer, also a full hand sanitizer, and then 3 reference books that I really, 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 really love. Okay, so as for the actual art creation setup, what we do here is we predominantly use this massive tub of Aquaphor and this thing to prop my phone up because this doesn't have enough leverage as is. And then I do the close-up shots, and that's to keep you guys from shaking, because like any movement and this thing's rattling, right? And largely the issue is also that my desk does not have space for actually like keeping all of my stuff on it. So like I just had to move my mic, and now we're gonna move the art supplies I wanted to talk about during this video over this way. And now we have my computer, which doesn't have enough space, and then like the sketchbook when opened, just open completely, is like more than my desk, and it hangs off a massive chunk. We can like not fit on this desk at all. And so because of that, I really try not to use the sketchbook. And I think that's one of those hurdles. I was talking about how I don't feel compelled to use my sketchbook anymore. And I do think a large part of it is because my sketchbook is literally massive. It does not fit on my desk unless it's sideways like this. So it's just really, really annoying, right? So instead, I like to try and use paper like the, oh, no. Stop pressing keys. Okay, it's done pressing keys. Great. I like to use this Talons like art paper right now because it's like long. And that's pretty nice. And then I also really, really like the where is it? It's usually right here. Oh, here we go. I've been trying to get back into the, can you not be clicking, please? Rain, why are your videos so unprofessional? Because this is my desk setup. So I've also been trying to get back into using the XL Bristol board because it has been It has been a pain in the past. This illustration that is really, really bad was one of them. The markers weren't blending. I tried to save it with paint pens and it didn't work. So that sucked. And I haven't gone back to this paper, but I'm trying it out again. And I think what it was is that my markers were not juicy enough. And so it was just leaving patches. So I think that might be a fixed problem, but I've been instead mostly liking the Talons A4 paper, like I said. And I do have another pad of this somewhere, and it's been kind of fixing the issue. And then, I don't know what paper this is. I got it from a scrap kit at a local, like, junk art store. It's like a finders keepers craft store. And I really want to find this paper in real life. It's got like a watercolory texture, but it's not watercolor paper. I think it's just a mixed media colored pencil focus paper, but this is really nice and I need more of it in my life really badly. So I'm trying to revisit this one because I want to love it. This has been what I've been using separately. And then I've also been working on a smaller piece of paper. Let me see if I can find that brand really quickly. Where is it? Okay, I cannot find it really quickly, which means it is in my room, like my bedroom, and I was working on something in there last, which is fine, but it should just be the Canson marker paper, and I've been really liking that as well. So, with this whole, like, sketchbook shebang out of the way, let's migrate to my favorite and most commonly used art supplies, and we're going to move to the Aquaphor tripod setup for that, so that we actually look a little bit more reasonable and less stupid, but still probably pretty stupid. So let's just migrate really, really quickly onto that. The good old classic Rain setup of a beverage way too in frame and everything else out of focus. So lately I have been using the Wuo paint pens, as I mentioned, and I talked about it a lot. They're pretty great. I've been really thoroughly enjoying them, but let's look at their tip and their barrel a little bit really quickly. So it is just an acrylic marker. I really feel secure, and I try to, when I buy new paint pens and stuff, exclusively look for brands that have at least their name on the barrel. It makes me feel a little secure that it's not completely drop shipped. And then really nice brush tip. It's pretty squishy, but also got a firmness to it. Pretty opaque, but it's not super opaque, and I really like that for creating layering color on the tip. And I kind of like how they like set up their kind of array, and I've been trying to stick to individual color palettes when working because I really, really like the overall vibe. Now let's see, can I get the lid on this time? Yes, nice. Put that back on the floor. I also mentioned really liking the grabby brush tip dual tone acrylic markers. These, much softer brush tip, but still firm. And then I just generally like dual tone because less space taken up. As you guys have seen, I have very little space actually at my desk, and that's just kind of a part of living with other people, not owning your space necessarily, not being able to customize it. So Caran color pencils are my favorite, but they're really expensive, so I only own what I've been gifted from people. And so when I am not using the Caran, I am using the Color color pencils, and these I got pretty cheap. They were on sale at the time, which is why I own the 300-piece set. I know, it's really big. It doesn't fit on my space. I really do hate big tins like this, though, which is why I keep it off of my desk. And then I have a hard time with this lid a lot of the time. It's not very friendly to my health condition, but I don't really expect tins to be a lot of the time. Then it's got these, like, flats of colors. They're all deep. I don't like this setup. I really hate having my colored pencils inaccessible like this, but I just don't have the storage to be able to access them and keep them any other way at the moment. Okay. Now I could put my sketchbook back on it. Oh, and like, I'm probably gonna make a reel about it, but like, I do not want to swatch 300 colors. Please send help. Someone else do it for me. I don't want to. I will cry. But after that, I really like the Pilot Color Eno 0.7 Eco Line pencils. And then also in my favorites is the Graphite Graph Gear Pentels. And then this one does have normal lead in it, but oh, it has like no normal lead in it. But I do have another set of these that I use with colored lead because this barrel, being cold and metal, is easier on my condition than plastic. I know that sounds weird, but I find metal to be a little less uncomfortable and painful than plastic a lot of the time. It's also sturdier and a little bit harder for me to drop. So, oh, also the like retraction thing being like this, instead of having to, if I want to retract, like push the barrel and then go like that, it's less motion and it's a little bit easier on me. Because all of the actions of like pushing down on something is overall pretty uncomfortable and painful. Then at the moment I have just kind of committed to using the Copic multi-liners. I do have other multi-liners, but I just keep finding that I'm having a terrible time finding a multi-liner that doesn't bleed with my markers unless I let it dry for like 24 plus hours. And then I do like a good random super fine line ballpoint pen / whatever this is. This is the Pentel Sleeky? I don't know what language that is, so I don't know what letters to emphasize in that, but it's I don't know if I can get that reflection to work out for me. Okay, we'll move on from that. And then I've been really liking this big one. Oh, oops. I don't like this button because it is a little hard to get my finger in there, but overall, this is a much wider barrel, and so it's a lot easier on my hand than other Bic pens. I used to really, really like their thin, classic, super cheap ballpoint pen, but over the years, it's just gotten really, really difficult to use, and then getting grips on pencils is also really hard for me, so I don't really enjoy using those that much. Then I do have a couple of Prismacolors I keep at my desk for quick sketching, and they're really just in the color purple, and then I have a, like, Carmelian one somewhere. However, it's so short, I don't actually know which of my 2 mugs it's in right now, and I have to, like, tip it over to see. Then I've been really liking the like Languo like 10 pack. I don't really know why it's designed to drop them all, but I think it's super cute. And I like multi-pens because it prevents me from thinking about coloring, and then also you know for a fact that this thing can't handle alcohol marker. So I don't feel compelled to go and like finish and go super in depth. This is the ideal size for my hand. Something really thick like this is about what I need to relieve overall intense hand pain. So this is a favorite of mine for just classic sketching. If you guys would like to watch me do a ballpoint pen drawing, let me know in the comments. Then I did also mention that I do have these like brandless random pencils that are supposed to be the like never dull ones and have their stupid eraser on the inside, despite the fact that there's no way to like do anything with it, so you have to like untwist it if you ever want to use the eraser, which is just outright stupid and incredibly annoying and impractical. So that's cool. Because of that, I have a Pentel Click Erase at my desk. There we go. But I don't use it very often because I don't usually work in pencil. Then I have a Uniball Signo white gel pen. These are the best white gel pens that I have, but I still hate them and think they suck. So that's wonderful. I have a better white brush pen somewhere. Let's see if I can figure out if it's over here or somewhere else. Okay, I do. Okay. I like the Zig brush white pen in Ultra Fine. I think this one's kind of newer than my other one. Yeah. It's dry, need to pump it. You pump it by like twisting. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to waste product. So, you twist this. I find that this is a really good white paint pen. Other than that, I sometimes just get out a tube of white paint. And I find that that is substantially easier than a lot of the other kind of methods and approaches to getting what I want done. So, that's that for the art supplies. Then, I do use the Audio Pro mic. I'm shaking you around, so I am sorry, but that's just how it is. Then, for my colored light that I use at night, I have this thing. It doesn't have a brand on it either, and it used to have 3 legs, but it doesn't anymore, so it's now just stuck in my Jinx sweater to try and keep it from completely falling over, but it's a colored light, and that's because I have like visual issues where bright lights are incredibly painful if I'm exposed to them, so a yellow-orange toned light is substantially easier on my eyes. Then I just got a new thing of hand sanitizer, but I use this to wet a lot of my art supplies because I don't have a water sprayer, which is what this is for. But this is also something I keep on my desk like 24/7 because I am messy and it just helps, but it's just kind of a necessity in my life. Other than that, my PC is like custom built. My brother built it, so I don't really know what it is. For editing software, I use DaVinci Resolve. And then for the glitter that I said I use for when I use glitter pieces, this is a Sushi Glow Cosmetics. Other than that, I just have my Huion drawing tablet, and this is kind of just my overall system. I do have very little space, as you can see, but that's just kind of something that you have to deal with when you're an artist sometimes, and that's just kind of the way things have to be. Overall, when it came to making the decision to ask if you guys even wanted to see a desk tour, a large part of it was because every time I see a desk tour, there is always just so much aesthetics to it, and it can be kind of consuming, and oh god, I almost just threw my mug trying to grab something. Oh, okay, we're fine. Almost just cried right there. But I've been finding overall that whenever it comes to like watching desk tour videos, a lot of the time the desks are incredibly aesthetic. And because of that, I generally find that it's kind of this illusion of the perfect art space a lot of the time, and it doesn't really account for the reality that a lot of people don't have the finances or the space to be able to have a super custom art studio. I am one of those people, obviously. I'm in my household childhood living room, living at home until I finish my master's degree. And then I'm going to be living in a yurt for about 5 years while my partner and I work on building our house. And so when it comes to all of this, I feel like there is, to an extent, an importance to being authentic about a much more casual, if you can hear Anya the dog, that's, she's upsetty, but that's okay. There's an importance to being honest about our situations and kind of demystifying the aesthetics of the internet. And frankly, I'm really happy with my setup for the situation that I have, and it works for me. It's very small, it's very compact, and I don't have a whole lot of space. I'm constantly overflowing into the parts of the house that are technically supposed to be for other people's stuff, and kind of having to deal with those consequences. Figuring out actually kind of like organizing things, but overall I find that for my situation I'm incredibly fortunate to be able to fit the art supplies that I have, to have a space where I can create art in my house. You know, I don't have to make all of my art in my bed like some people do, to have space. I can keep my stuff away from my room, and then this is also where I work because I work from home. And so my job gets to be near my creative studio. And I think for some people that's like undesirable. They don't really want to have work and play in the same space. But for me, it means that I can be creative while I'm working if there is a lull in the workday without having to go anywhere. And I find that to be an incredibly like beneficial kind of situation for me to be in. So overall, I do think that considering this is an unaesthetic desk tour, we are probably not going to have a whole lot of fun overall. You know, there's no pretty pastel colors for me to offer. Wow, okay, can I make that a bottom lip? Can I save this face shape? No, there's no saving this face shape. Okay, that was a mistake. Error, panic, scream. What about pen? Pen? That was pen. Oh, pink and brown. Kind of nice together. Dang. But overall, I wanted to share my space and be real, and so I was really glad to see that the desk tour did end up being desired by you guys. And if you're new here, I hope you enjoyed the desk tour. I don't really have any art in my immediate vicinity to show you to try and explain why you should subscribe to my channel if you would like to see more of my art. But I can pull out my sketchbook and show you some of the weird stuff I have in there, because it's definitely weirder in here. Because I do treat my sketchbook like a creative space for whatever it'll be. So if you're interested in art like this, subscribe to my channel. I do post every week, even on weeks where it's perhaps not the most ideal of situations. I mostly do character design, illustrations, and fan art here on my channel. And so if you would like to come hang out with me next week, I will be creating art. It'll either be an update. Oh, I'm so sorry. I just hit you guys. It'll either be an update on my graphic novel, or it will be my video of working on this adorable little lady as an illustration. We will see which happens first, but overall, I really appreciate you hanging out with me for my unaesthetic, less than desirable desk tour, and I am really appreciative of you coming and hanging out with me this week, seeing my space, and seeing my favorite art supplies to use. Here is a sticky note doodle for you. Mwah. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night. Whoa, I didn't do all of the outro thingies. Oops. So, let's backtrack a little bit. Like this video if you like it, dislike it if you dislike it. Comment if you have anything you want to say. Is your desk space also super tiny and incredibly awkward to work in half the time? Do you have a whole art studio that you use? What is your desk space like? And what are your thoughts on aesthetic versus unaesthetic desk tours? And kind of the aesthetics that kind of come with being an artist on the internet. And now, subscribe if you would like to see more of my content, hang out with me, see the art that I make, and just kind of chill for some cozy and maybe not super cool art videos. I'm kind of well, you know, casual. But if you like that type of casual content, definitely come hang out with me and subscribe to my channel. Other than that, I will have a video up in the card that I think you guys will really like. YouTube is going to recommend another video for you based on your watch interest. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, night, wherever you are. And with all of this being said, bye-bye.